Go Ask Ellis, January 8th. Chris and I have both been informed about a party this weekend, but I've asked Mom if Chris can spend that time with me. I'm sure I won't be tempted, but I just don't want to take any chances. And I've also, very truthfully, at least part truthfully, told Mom that a bunch of pretty fast kids are pushing us at school, and we'd like family support for the next few weeks. Mom was so grateful that I had even confided in her and said she and Dad would try to plan something special for the next couple of weekends and see if Chris's folks wouldn't do the same for the 2 weeks after that. It was a nice, warm feeling knowing that we were communicating, and much more than vocally. I really have a great family. January 11th. Our family and Chris spent the weekend in the mountains. It was everything that it possibly could have been. Dad borrowed the cabin from someone he works with, and after we found out how to turn on the water and the furnace and everything, it was really great. It snowed during the night, and we all had to take turns shoveling out the car, but it was really lovely. Dad says he's going to borrow or rent the cabin often. It makes a wonderful weekend retreat. It's strange how he can always get off when he really feels he has to. January 13th. George asked me out on Friday night. He's kind of nothing, but I guess that's the safest kind. January 14th. Lane met me during lunch and insisted that I get him a new contact. His connection has been busted and he's really hurting. He twisted my arm until it is black and blue and made me promise I'd get him at least a lid for tonight. I don't have any idea how to go about it. Chris suggested I get it from Joe, but I don't want anything to do with any of that bunch. I'm so scared I'm almost sick. In fact, I really am sick. January 15th. Dear unknowing mother, Lane called twice last night and insisted that he had to talk to me. But mother sensed that something was wrong and told him I was ill and absolutely could not be disturbed. She's even encouraged me to stay home from school today. Imagine her encouraging me to miss school when she's always had such a big hang up about it. Anyway, I do appreciate that she cares, and I just wish I could confide in her. I wonder how much Lane really knows about Rich and me. January 17th. George took me to the dance at school, but it was all ruined because Joe and Lane were on my head all night. George wanted to know what was going on, so I told him that Lane was jealous because he had asked me out and I turned him down. Thank heavens the music was loud and we weren't able to do much talking. I wish they would leave me alone. January 20th. Dad will be all tied up next weekend, so we won't be able to get away, but at least we can keep busy. Mom said she would help me make a new vinyl, leather looking suit. January 21st. Gloria and Babs met me after school and walked part of the way home with me. I didn't know how to get rid of them without being completely hostile, but I wish they'd all get off my back. Mom drove by just as we got to the corner of Elm and I waved her down. It was too much. The entire drive home, she kept saying what nice girls Gloria and Babs are and how good it would be for me to have many friends instead of just concentrating on Chris. Oh, if she only knew, if she only knew. January 24th. Oh, damn, 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 it's happened again. I don't know whether to scream with glory or cover myself with ashes and sackcloth, whatever that means. Anyone who says pot and acid are not addicting is a damn stupid, raving idiot, unenlightened fool. I've been on them since July 10th, and when I've been off, I've been scared to death to even think of anything that even looks or seems like dope. All the time pretending to myself that I could take it or leave it. All the dumb idiot kids who think they are only chipping are in reality just existing from one experience to the other. After you've had it, there isn't even life without drugs. It's a plodding, colorless, dissonant, bare existence. It stinks. And I'm glad I'm back. Glad, glad, glad. I've never had it better that I had it last night. Each new time is the best time, and Chris feels the same way. Last night, when she called and asked me to come over, I knew something terrible had happened. She sounded like she didn't know what to do, but when I got there and smelled that incredible smell, I just sat down on the floor of her room with her and cried and smoked. It was beautiful and wonderful, and we'd been without it for so long. I'll never be able to express how really great it is. Later, I called mother and told her I was spending the night with Chris because she felt a little depressed. Depressed? No one in the world but a doper could know the true opposite of depressed. January 26th. Chris feels a little guilty, but I'm delighted that we're turned on again. We belong to the world belongs to us. Poor old George is going to have to go away of all squares. He drove by to pick me up for school, and I couldn't have been less interested. I don't even need him for a chauffeur anymore. January 30th. I talked to Lane today, and he's really amazing. He's got a new connection, and he can get me anything I want. So I told him I like uppers best. Who needs to go down when you can go up, right? February 6th. Life is really unbelievable now. Time seems so endless, yet everything goes so fast. I love it. P.S. Mother's really glad that I'm in again. She likes to hear the telephone ringing for me. Isn't that too much? February 13th. Lane was hit last night. I don't know how they found out about him, but I guess he was pushing too much too fast to those little teeny boppers of his. I'm just grateful I wasn't there. Being so sweet and innocent and naive, my parents don't let me stay out late on weeknights. They are trying to protect me from the big bad boogeyman. I'm not really too worried about Lane. He's barely 16, so they probably won't give him too much of a problem, probably slap his hands. February 18th. Our supply has dried up somewhat with Lane on good behavior, but Chris and I are very resourceful. Anyway, we're managing. I think I'm going to start taking the pill. It's a lot easier than worrying. I bet the pill is harder to get than drugs, which shows you how screwed up this world really is. February 13th. Dear Diary, oh wow. They raided Chris's house last night while her folks and her aunt were out, but Chris and I played the game. The big blue badge just stood shaking his head while Chris and I swore to our parents it was our very first time and that nothing had really happened. Thank God they arrived while we still had our brains together. I wonder how they knew we were there. February 24th. This is the funniest thing I have ever heard. Mom is worried and hinting that something might have happened to her little baby in those words she can't bring herself to use. She wants me to go see Dr. Langley for a checkup. Isn't that a laugh? It took me a while to plead ignorance and innocence with my eyes opened as wide as they could go. I pretended I didn't even know what she was talking about. And do you know, she finally wound up actually feeling guilty for ever even suspecting a thing. We're all on probation and are not supposed to see each other, and mom and dad are sending me to a head shrinker beginning next Monday. I guess that was all part of the bargain to keep me out of court. The rumor is that Lane has been sent away someplace to a lock in, dry out school, I think. Actually, this was his third bust. I didn't know that. Well, at least he can't think I had anything to do with it since I too got caught up in the drag. At least this is my first charge. I guess actually I'm pretty lucky.